So, the Phoenicians, go check your historical area in your library, and I promise you won't really find too much about the Phoenicians. So, I remember when I was at a school and checked the library, like on literature and stuff. Yes, I found quite a bit of stuff, and I really was as bored. So I took the time to actually also go through the historical and the this and that part, like all the books I kind of had a look at. And it was that there wasn't too much on the Phoenicians. Nothing actually. So the world's history kind of stops being known when it comes to the Etruscs in Italy, you know, and beforehand it was the Greek, like after the Etruscs it was the Romans. So okay, then we have the Greek, and then before that it was the Egyptian kingdoms, and before that I think it was the Persian ones. I'm not really sure. It's when you check the Bible, you have a statue in there, and there the statue stands for the different kingdoms that have existed. You know, like with their according metal, like gold, silver, bronze, and then the Romans, I think there it is clay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I forgot because I used to take it that seriously until I realized that the Bible is just another literature book. It's not about real history or real life support, like getting you easier through life, you know. It's rather stealing time and not being helpful at all. I wasted like 2 years investigating on the apocalypse. I tell you I did. So I was wondering, well, now that everybody seems to say that there is a planet coming, and then getting to cross our path around the sun, and then even going around the sun once, and then again cross our path around the sun, and then vanish into outer space where it came from. I thought, well, so many people saying so, and then also someone I found called Gil Broussard was really interesting to watch, because for a lot of things like the disc of Nebra, he had a really good explanation. So, you know, the disc of Nebra, just look at it. It shows two illuminated bodies, heavenly bodies. So it's like two things being in the sky at the same time isn't really happening. Well, at times you got the sun out and you see the moon. And on there he states that there is a curve drawn that is kind of the hill at that place where this disc was found. So looking into the sky from there and seeing the river also in front of you, then you can distinguish a certain position, picture or part of the sky that you look at. And there, he said, you never have the sun and the moon meeting at the same time, the way it was depicted. So, because of that, he said, that one must mean some other heavenly body was coming into this sky, and so on. He looked at all sorts of stuff, the Bibles, different like historical happenings where stuff was kind of mysterious, like the way that an army got defeated just by no means. It was then, he said, also when this heavenly body, Nibiru, was entering our solar system, causing that many, debris falling, that a army got defeated, even though the counterpart was much smaller. I think it was Jason's something war. Jason was the one with the steps. Also this nature phenomena he kind of explained with these enterings of this Nibiru. And he says every 360 years this one happens, not just 3,600. And then also he depicts that one happening until 2021 at least, because he says, it says, the ones that saw the creation of the state of Israel must still be alive. That one was 1946, so until all have died that have witnessed the creation of the state of Israel, it has to happen. But now I found Joanne about her Essene Bible, where she says that this fig tree isn't about Israel. It's about you should gather the figs, because in the winter time what you should eat is those dried fruits. That's it. So the Romans came into place in Israel, saw this sort of health instruction book by, these young Christians, the Essene, and they wanted to keep people on their side, being dependent upon them. So of course all health instruction that has to do with eating had to be rewritten in the Bible. So they did so, and the result was that now everybody thinks of the fig tree as being the state of Israel. So then Gil Broussard, he has in Spanish, in French, he has videos up in different languages, and also the ones up on his 7X Planet YouTube in English. I watched all of them, and the 3-hour one, it's like an interview and he explains it all. The interviewer is kind of falling asleep, but Gil keeps on explaining and explaining. So in that 3-hour interview, he explains it all, basically. And that one I probably heard 3 times. So I even went on to Astrodictum, a German physics site, and asked about the real outlook of the Earth. So to distinguish how would floods reach me, on what mountain nearby in Switzerland will I be safe? How crazy is that? So 2 years I was doing that because I had this kind of bad relationship. It ended and I was in a kind of bad mindset. So I was easy catch for any sort of hulululu. But as I am very much into details, I didn't just buy foods, stock food. I also actually found the pure form of the earth, and I found on the way to investigating the plasma tail this Nibiru has, which is like a fourth state of matter. It's not matter, it's not gas, you know, it's plasma. So that one destroys quite a bit of stuff, also all the electronics. So it comes important to know what will happen to the electronics, not just in the water reservoirs. We won't have water delivered to us because you need electricity for that to happen, but also the power plants, they won't cool down properly and maybe cause problems. So on the way, checking for Nibiru, I learned from Windsor Galen that radioactivity isn't the threat that they make us believe. It's rather a created myth to install the Cold War and to make radio actively gained power expensive and regulated to the bone, like down to every nitty-gritty detail. So because of that, I now know that, you know, living in an area where we have a lot of power plants, that one isn't at all dangerous. Even though the Simpsons, as media always is brainwashing, want to make us believe so subliminally. Never stating so, but it's in the intro, you know, Maggie catching the stick that Homer got kind of out from the power plant. Yeah, I can tell you, my backpack is so heavy. Today, it probably won't just take an hour. It probably will take longer for me to get home. But I also want to tell you that I'm not rushing it. I will just take it easy. Yes. And if I have thought of something else that I need to tell you about my findings on Nibiru that doesn't exist, and all the saga and, you know, on the apocalypse, I will continue a new video.